That staccato clicking only a manual typewriter can produce is pretty familiar to anyone born before, say, the late 1960s. For St. Louis critic, author, and veteran newspaperman Joe Pollack, those clicks are part of the soundtrack playing through his long career. Joe, I think it's a little depressing that there are generations behind us that probably have never even seen a typewriter.
That's probably true, Ruth, and it's such a shame because the typewriter is such a wonderful invention, and all those little keys went clickety-clack and nice noise. And when my children lived here, when they were younger and in high school and college, they used to go to sleep by the sound of the typewriter, and they all thought it was wonderful because it meant two things. It meant Dad was home, and it meant Dad was earning money for them.
The realities of today's high-tech world demand that Pollack use his computer to write copy and file columns. But for both sentimental and practical reasons, he's held on to 3 typewriters, both electric and manual. Pollack bought this portable manual in New York City in the 1950s, during his days as a sports writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Do any of these typewriters come in handy nowadays?
Well, when you have a power outage, when the power goes down during a summer storm and you have to get something done, and I use my typewriters for personal correspondence a lot because I still seem to be able to put more into a typewriter key than into a computer key. And there's just a rhythm and a feeling about it that makes me relax and maybe think better. I don't know.
It's reassuring for Pollack to know that when his trusty Hermes rocket needs maintenance or repairs, there are a handful of people still around who know what to do.
Now we should have a little better return.
Jones Typewriter Company in Maplewood has been around the St. Louis area for more than a half-century.
Also, we're getting a little clicking noise every once in a while.
Vernon Trampy bought the company in 1999, but he got his start in the mid-'60s repairing adding machines. How do you repair machines that are no longer manufactured?
Well, that's where the old machines really come in handy, donations especially, because we can put them on a shelf downstairs, and we need a part, we have a part for it.
Back in the days when typewriters and other office machines were larger, heavier, and noisier, there were hundreds of different brand names being sold across the country, and an abundance of people who knew how to keep them running. But as the equipment evolved, the ranks of repair shops like Jones Typewriter shrank dramatically. Those that have survived have evolved as well.
Top half of this row just stick all the time.
Over the years, Jones added maintenance and repair of electric typewriters, computer printers, and fax machines to its services. A number of the shop's customers, including the Lindbergh School District, still use electric typewriters in its operations.
We've been using Smith-Crone electronic typewriters, and parts are no longer available. So we've just been trading those in on these IBM wheel writers. You know, they always say we're in a paperless society. Don't believe it.
Some typewriters acquired by Jones are chemically cleaned and conditioned for resale. But a select few are antiques that the shop keeps on display.
That we collect, and this happens to be an older model Royal, and you can usually tell the age by the panels on the side. Like here, it has some plate glass in it, and actually I think that's crystal. And later on, they took that out and left it out because it was too expensive, and then they left it open. And then as time went on, then they closed it in, like on the next model here. It's got the metal sides on it, and so it is closed in. And this is their about 1940 model, and this is close to the 1915, 20 area, somewhere in there. So
now, then, on the 1915 model, why did they put the glass? Just so the repairman could see inside, or was it just for aesthetic purposes?
Aesthetic, I think. You know, made it look. And they did gold plating and all that, you know, gold leafing. So,
really?
Yeah, and not just Royal, but all the companies had gold leafing. All this gold leafing was expensive, you know, and they want them to look fancy, just like the sewing machines used to do. They put all that gold leafing on there to make them look fancy. We have a few portables here, and so they work a little differently than the full-size manuals because of their size. This one has the keys laying flat, so they have to come all the way up and hit the platen.
So how do you do the carriage return on something like this? Because there's no lever.
Well, this one might be a broken one, but they should look something like this one. And a lot of them are adjustable so that you can
Do a space or space and a half or two.
Yeah. And of course, the levers fold down so they can close the lids on them in a case, whereas like on the upper models, they stick right up.
One of the rarest typewriters in Vern Trampy's collection is this Hammond Multiplex, circa 1913. Its letters are typed from a wheel, as opposed to the more common straight keyboards of its day. And there's this 1905 Oliver. Its keyboard is straight but elevated and resembles a pair of wings.
That was a portable one, by the way. It had a case that fits over the top of it.
For now, this typewriter capital is keeping its doors open for business.
Okay, you want to use this box that's here and put it in there?
Vern Trampy hopes to take off long stretches of time to travel, and while he's gone, leave the day-to-day operations to others. But Trampy adds that as long as there's someone out there relying on a typewriter, he'll take on the challenge of keeping it in shape.
That's probably the fun part of my job. The hard part is doing the paperwork, the financial part, and all that kind of stuff is the headaches. But working on the machines is fun.